welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for a Terran versus Terran in Korea matchup.
Whoa.
Made a bit of a resurgence. We had TVT in Code S with that round of 4, and we're having it now
Yeah.
in WECG.
One of the guys who was in that TVT, in fact, was Cure. He lost yesterday. Didn't give the best showing. I was really looking forward to his games. I thought he was going to get out of at least the round of 16, but failing me and his fans.
Yep, he failed.
I guess that's a bit harsh. I'm sorry. But he obviously didn't show the best play, and there were better players in this group. Apparently, Sora and Stats getting out of that group. And so far, Dark making it to the winner's round here, and Parting going down to the loser's round. He's going to have to play against one of these Terrans.
Yeah, that he will. And I'm curious to see how this one is really going to play out, because Hack was pretty good at TVT back in his time, in his prime. Back in the ESF era, he was pretty good at TVT. Came out with some solid TVP play as well, which could be important for him in this group should he lose this match.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Bbyong is just a much more experienced player in recent times. It's hard to say that against Hack, right? Like, Bbyong is more experienced than Hack. I mean, Hack's played so much longer than Bbyong, but I feel like Bbyong has just played in so many more high-stakes matches, especially recently. In total in his career now, that you just really have to give him the edge.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, if you learn guitar and you're playing like the simplest song over and over and over again, it's gonna get you really good at that one song. But if you're not playing the harder songs, you're not going to become like an expert guitar player. And that's what I would call Bbyong here, an expert guitar player, of course.
That's why I always played Guitar Hero on Expert.
Oh yeah, me too.
So look at these results, man. Pretty sick. Hitman, not a bad guy. He's looking for currently looking for a foreign team. Beating Panic, not a bad StarTale player, showing that TVP prowess though. And then beating Sue, actually, the forever second place GSL finalist and player of, he just got second place at DreamHack as well. Now we have a new sponsor for StarTale, by the way. File Kooky seems to be their big sponsor here, so very nice to see that they're getting that sponsorship. Yeah. A long time ago, StarTale was formed. They've been around for a very long time in StarCraft 2.
For you guys who want to support StarTale, go ahead and go to that website, I guess, filekooky.com, see what that's all about.
You know what? I love actually that shirt actually just straight up has the website on it.
Yeah, it's good advertising.
You could Google File Kooky. Well, if the website's like right there, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to check that out.
Yeah.
You can look at who's here. We got some StarTale coaches. We got Legend, who's now the head coach. We've got Curious. And it looks like, who's that? Next time.
Is that Life?
It looks like Younghwa, but that would be strange.
I'm like leaning all the way over my desk, but I just couldn't see it.
I know it's not actually Younghwa, but it kind of looked like him. Well, we'll get to see a better shot of him. Uh-oh! Whoa! Different bands here. Terran versus Terran. Merry-Go-Round, Overgrowth, and King Sejong Station all banned along with Boxtrot.
Oh, man.
This is so the match from hell, man. This is the match of all the bands. Like, maybe the graphics wrong. Maybe they put the picks in the band part and the bands in the pick part. Nimbus, Deadwing, and then Catalana. These guys want to play some longer TVTs, I'm feeling.
It's actually our 3 biggest map in this pool, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, Foxtrot Labs and Nimbus are like similar size. I think about Nimbus, though, is you get that free backdoor expansion, so it makes for longer games oftentimes just because you get that basically for free. And that's where we're going to start things off here. Now, Hack's a player known for his mech play. Bbyong is known for his mech play as well, especially on Outboxer. But that
against
map
Birdos is even.
That map is out of the pool now, so
Bbyong's eating a cookie.
Is that what he's eating?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, how can you be certain? You can't tell people things you're not sure about like that. That could be
I can just tell by his chewing patterns.
That could be
it looks like a cookie.
chip. That could be
it's something really chewy. It's probably like a rice
piece. 6 pieces of gum. That could be 6 pieces of gum all together, man, that he's chewing right now. He could have a gumball in his mouth, man.
Could be. Has Bbyong joined, who's that, Myungshi, who loves to chew the gum in the booth?
I'm not sure what he's eating, man, but we'll talk about that later. Bbyong versus Hack, Terran versus Terran, here on Nimbus.
Up here in the top right, in the red, one of the Terran players we got here, it's Bbyong, part of CJ Entis.
And over here, the top left in blue, it's Hack, Startail. Our most iconic StarCraft 2 teams. Movie sponsored by File Kooky. And don't be embarrassed.
These girls were so good at hiding their faces. They were hiding their faces before they got on camera. That's like next level.
That is pretty high level. So there's a few variations in this matchup for openers. Reaper expand. There's CC first still viable. There's still Banshee openings, so most people have been going for Ravens in this matchup these days. There's a lot of flexibility with the Reaper expand because you can get in there. In this day and age, with the Reaper, in all matchups, your opponent's basically not going to be able to keep any secrets should you decide to go for the Reaper. So if you want to go Cloak Banshees with the gas first, Reaper's probably going to see that. So then you're like, okay, now what do I do? You know, I guess I'm probably just going to make Ravens. As we see a lot of Ravens right now in TBT.
Yeah, it definitely, even just the introduction of Reapers being able to be built without the tech lab, just getting it out faster, it takes away a lot of those, very greedy tech builds away from a lot of different races. So I like it. I actually like it.
It just makes riskier builds and oftentimes gimmicky builds, depending on what build we're talking about, less viable and less hideable. So we do see a gas first for Hack, and on the other hand, Bbyong is getting his gas in a more standard timing. So you can see the difference in gas here is about 28 gas. So not a huge difference, but it is going to be the difference between either a faster Reaper or a faster Factory, depending on how Hack wants to play this. And obviously he's going to get a slower orbital as a result as well. So we'll see, should he get the Factory. It's definitely going to be a more aggressive tech build. It lines up for that quite nicely here. And yep, there it is.
Yep, making the Factory and the orbital, like you said, a little bit later here. But again, the Reaper is coming out really, really fast there. It's going straight to exactly where Hack is. He's gonna see exactly what Hack is doing. He's gonna know exactly what the build is. So Bbyong, there's gonna be no secrets for him, whereas Hack could get his SCV denied if the Reaper intercepts it here in the middle of the map.
Yeah. So, if you look at this, it looks like Hack is deciding to forego the Reaper entirely. Obviously, I said you can get a fast Reaper with gas first. It's, a fast Reaper and a Factory, whereas, Bbyong gets a much faster Reaper because his Barracks finishes first, but his Factory is so late, especially considering he's decided to go for CC before Factory, but Reaper gets denied. That's kind of rough, actually, commit that much to a Reaper. And he's even getting a Reactor here. He really wants a lot of Marines out early on.
Yeah, definitely wants that.
I'm sure he can use it for Hellions too, and he probably will.
This is actually so annoying for Hack. Before he gets a big number of Marines and before he gets Medivacs, Bbyong can just walk up that ramp, poke a little bit, get a couple shots, then walk back, regen his health, and even just run in, actually, and get a full scout on what's going on here. Doesn't see the starport, though.
Yeah. Can fairly reasonably assume, but it's never a certainty. And I think this Reaper may actually just be able to get out of here. It's going to be close.
He's regenerating a lot of health. With this spread on the Marines, actually, the Reaper's going to be able to maybe pick off one Marine here. He does. And it's got 5 health now. Trying to regen as much as he can, but I think this is the death of the Reaper. Yep. Nice spread. Gets it down.
That was really well played by both players. With this late of a starport, with that Reactor and the CC, this Banshee could do a lot of damage. It's getting Cloak. He knows he denied the Scout on the Cloak, so this is going to be a bit unknown. Hack does take a bit of a risk with this, though, because it could be that there's also a starport up at home with a Raven coming out right now. He really just doesn't know. But he knows that Bbyong isn't sure about the Cloak, so decides to commit to this. And he needs to do damage to make up for the economic lead that Bbyong is inevitably going to have with that orbital already done. And he's starting Hellion production.
I like the set of Bbyong, just making a blind Viking here and 2 missile turrets. I wonder if he actually saw the tech lab on the Factory building when he walked in with the Reaper, because if he sees that, oh, look at this, he's actually going to see the Banshee before it gets even close to his base. So very nicely done here by Bbyong, trying to get a nice lineup here on the Marines as well, kills all of them. Yep. And now going for the SCVs.
A bit of a late reaction on that Factory raise, or rather the depot raise, forces the Banshee to turn around, which, it's something you could reasonably assume there would be a Banshee. He doesn't know about Cloak, but the turrets are such a great choice. And is even actually going to be able to maybe knock this depot down? Not quite.
No.
Well, if there's no repair, then he might. Okay.
Yeah. He's going to get the repair down here. But again, it just delays this harass out of the Banshee so much. He's going to be forced to cloak so far away from the base.
Yeah.
And that might even run out before it gets there. There's 2 missile turrets
Three
anyway.
missile turrets, even. He made a missile turret on top of his production facilities.
I really like the way Bbyong is playing. He went for that early economic lead, and then he's just being safe from there on out. He wasn't 100% sure. He may have seen the tech lab with this Reaper and had a hunch of the fact that Banshees could come out here.
Well, I want to see that Banshee's vision. Did he see the counter cloak? Ooh, did he see it? I don't think he saw it. I don't think he knows. And one more shot. Got it. Oh, this over here doing a little bit of damage.
Yeah, got to pull those SCVs. Just getting 1 kill so far.
And saves its energy too, so it should be able to escape. Hack is in an awkward position now. He's got faster siege tanks, which is going to let him maybe hold a faster third, but his economy is already behind. He barely got any damage done. He's going to lose this Banshee if he uses another scan. Doesn't look like he has one. He's repairing the Banshee. Smart choice. You know, that's a huge investment he made. But look at this. Man. This is when the counter Banshee comes in. He's like, oh, what? That's not my Banshee. That's yours. I don't have turrets. I don't have Vikings. I'm doing a big drop, but my economy is in trouble.
Yeah. No mining here at the natural now. I feel like if Bbyong can hold off this drop, I'm not sure if he got a read on that or even if he saw it, but he's going to do so much damage with this one Banshee. Now it's got Cloak. The Cloak has finished, but there's a big drop here.
He's pulling the SCVs?
Only SCVs and Hellions to hold this off here. He's got 1 Banshee as well.
I think he should be fine as long as he could just target down these siege tanks with his SCVs. Banshee as well getting involved here. Scans on that Banshee. And this is going to be game. He holds this. There's literally not even any Marines at home for Hack. Oh, look at how many SCVs he's losing right now to 1 Banshee. Scan, you can kill the Marine. What are you scanning for?
Well, there is that Viking there, and he is going to eventually
okay. I didn't even see the Viking.
But look at this, 20 kills. Banshee here getting denied, and Bbyong is just so far ahead right now. He's up 15 SCVs. He's equal in tech. I mean, Hack has lost all of his siege tanks as well.
I did not even see that Viking, but regardless, man, this is looking pretty nasty. I mean, let's look at the unit counts here. SCV count alone is pretty terrible, but he's like struggling to stay alive in his base and make sure his units don't die. If he uses scans, that means his economy is even worse because he doesn't have any SCVs really, and every scan is a lost meal.
Gets away, just out of range of the scan there. And their second stand comes down, but that's so annoying. When he's this far behind in SCVs, he has to use 2 scans, and those could have been 2 meals. But unfortunately, Hack is getting farther and farther behind.
He still has those tanks, but he just can't use them really. That's the awkwardness here. He's going to maybe try to do another drop with these Vikings to support, which he absolutely needs because the defensive Banshees of Bbyong are going to give him a big issue otherwise. He expects this too. Look at how he's positioned his units. He's got his units at the back of his base. He knows there's so many turrets in the main, and just keeping his units over the back expansion should really help him with this. He's got a turret there to back him up as well.
2 mules going down there. He is going to have the missile turrets for detection on the Banshees. Well, actually, there are no Banshees in this mix, actually, and he's got the Raven as well anyway. But look at this. He's trying to drop here, already putting down the auto turret there.
Auto turrets actually do a lot of damage over time. He's not going to be able to save this Raven, it doesn't look like, but the Banshee can actually just obviously make it so those drops just need to get out of here. He's got Blue Flame almost done, +1's on the way. 3rd factory's almost finished. He's moving his 3rd CC down to the low ground, and the 3rd CC isn't even done yet for Hack, who's still 14 SCVs behind. He's trying to make a starport transition because he knows that killing that Raven and how that engagement went, he might be far enough ahead in Vikings to maybe take control of the air game.
But cancels one of them. I guess he doesn't want to go that far ahead. I don't think on 2 bases he's really able to produce out of all 3 starports anyway, so just deciding to go for 2.
Such a crazy amount of Hellions, and when that Blue Flame upgrade finishes, you know, Hellion drops, Hellbat drops, run-bys, it's just going to be so strong. And as you can see on the production tab, Hack is actually still trying to go for a Marine tank style. He's getting a ton of Marines. Well, not a ton, but as many as he can afford, which is pretty expensive right now for him at only 43 SCVs. Getting Marauders and getting Stim. And if you just drop Blue Flame Hellbots on top of Bio and Siege tanks, it doesn't go well for the Bio and Siege tanks. No, ask Innovation how much he likes dropping Hellbats on Bio. He'll tell you he likes it a lot. Don't ask Cure, though. I think you might say the opposite.
Well, if you go ahead and look at that, we do get our army supply and our worker supply up there. Bbyong very far ahead here. I love what he's doing. He's not going for a giant attack here. He's just getting his economy farther ahead, taking the Artosis approach. He's going to try to drop here as well. Do have a nice defense here for Hack. He has a turret, a tank, and a bunker here.
But even so, man, this is going to do so much damage. He's going to pull immediately. I mean, every SCV he loses is so important right now. That was a perfect reaction, and the bunker is so smart, like you said, but still lost a few SCVs here. And with all the Hellions he's got to spare, losing a few Hellbats for this is totally worth it. Just keep yourself ahead economically.
That is true. It looks like a drop is trying to come in here for Hack. Just about 6 Marines and a Marauder. Can only fill up one of those Hellbats.
And keep in mind, guys, too, when you look at a 4 Hellbat drop, it looks like, wow, that's a lot of money he's investing in this. It's actually only 400 minerals for 4 Hellions. They just become Hellbats. I mean, it's such a cheap unit with all the mules he's got and the worker count he has, plus the amount of time he's had triple mules. Look at he's getting high-sec auto-tracking. He's leaving nothing to chance. And now he's starting to get those innovation medevacs ready. When you do this, you can not only be constantly ready to drop Hellbats on top of units or go for a drop, but you also hide your Hellbat numbers a little bit. Your opponent can't be sure if you have Hellbats in the medevac or not.
Yeah, it's a very cool technique that he's pulling off here. I wonder when Bbyong is going to try to go for this push. He's scanning down here, scanning everything actually, both the backdoor natural.
He's like, are you hiding an air tech? I knew it. I'm going to start 2 Thors right now. This is the only way I could lose this game is if you're hiding some Vikings back there. I found you. I know what you're up to.
Bbyong is actually playing so smartly here. He's like so far ahead, and he's just using this aheadness to stay ahead. You know, he's just making sure that he doesn't get taken off guard by any weird tech transitions here out of Hack. And he's doing a great job of it.
Yep. Well, let's see what Hack's plan is here, because he never really got that air dominance he was looking for. Yeah, he's got 2 Ravens and a better Viking count, but it's not a significant enough lead to where he can really make anything of it. So dropping is difficult against all these sensor towers, the high-sec auto-tracking. He's even getting Burrow for his Widowmine to help out against an air transition, and this is just way too much.
Hack is just running away. He's like, oh, no, I can't fight against this. Medevac goes down. Scan going down here sees a lot of the army of Hack, and he's like, oh, LOL.
Look at how puny that looks. He's just going to go drop on top of those siege tanks. A few more buy units come back at the end here. But he doesn't even have his air army all together, so it doesn't even matter that he tried to go for that. And this is just a slaughter here. There comes the air army. But it's too little too late, and here come the Thors. They're going to make quick work of those PDDs with all the 4 shots they drop out.
Yep, it's really about those Thors. He got the scan down, saw the transition.
Look at the turrets he's making.
It's perfect. He's got into position. GG.
Bbyong making it look easy there in the long run. Getting that early lead in SCVs. Taking that economic advantage. Shutting down Hack's Banshee super hard, then going for that counter Banshee. Hack had nothing at home to deal with that. He went for that big drop, which was a huge commitment. And it was the one advantage he had in the game, his tech advantage, since his Banshee did nothing, so he had to do something like that. But with all of his units not at home, the Banshee did so much damage, and nasty.
Bbyong is drinking a victory chocolate milk and smirking to himself, saying, hey, I'm pretty good at TVT still.
Yeah, he is. Bbyong was one of my favorite TVD players. I feel like Innovation overshadowed him towards the end of that hybrid Pro League season that we had. Pro League season before our most recent one, the 2013 Pro League season, was one of the best TVTs there. We didn't see too much TVT in 2014, so we didn't really get to assess his skills there. But he's looking pretty solid right now. Deadwing is going to be map number 2. And this was Hack's map pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. And this is another gigantic map. Take away those close spawns, so you only get, vertical or cross spawns here. And that is just going to make for another long TVT here.
Yep, most likely. Let's find out where they spawn and what happens here if Hack can keep himself together going into game number 2.
up here in the top right. In the red, he's up 1-0 so far. It's Bbyong, part of CJ Entis.
And to the bottom right in blue, it's Hack. For Startail, an iconic player from a long time ago. Former Xenex, actually. That's where he got his start.
Yeah. You know, I was talking about how Bbyong was a bit of a guitar player, and I just noticed that the CJ Entis logo actually looks like a guitar pick. I don't know if you noticed that, Wolf, as well. It's got
yeah,
like
I've seen
an
that.
interesting shape.
You're talking about just the CJ logo in general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of matches, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the analogy you're making earlier. I forgot for a second. I'm like, what guitar picks was this? How do you man? I'm like,
What is he talking
I'm like,
about?
is Bbyong actually a guitar player? I don't know. Like, no one told me.
No, I actually don't know. Could be.
Bbyong like stands up after he wins the series 2-0 and like just pulls a guitar out and plays a solo. He's like got his amp plugged in and everything. I'm like, wow, Brendan, how did you know? He's actually behind everything. He designed the logo for CJ, one of the biggest companies in Korea.
Just making all the connections here, man. It's that Illuminati.
It's that Illuminati. I'm like, did you notice the CJ into pieces kind of form a triangle?
An upside down triangle, man.
Well, we actually have both these players this time. It's first of all spawned vertically, so we're not going to have the super long cross positions, which makes drops and Banshee a little bit stronger. But beyond that, they're both going for standard gas timings. So no rushed factories out here. Let's see, only a 4 gas lead, in fact, for Bbyong.
Yeah, Bbyong just slightly faster on that gas, I guess. Not really going to come into anything really here. No advantage is going to come out of that.
Nothing, too big,
Yeah.
too crazy.
So Bbyong going to scout south. Hack going to scout north. They're going to scout each other first.
And, I mean, these scouts are just going to say, oh, okay, you went Reaper. Oh, okay, you went Reaper. And then, okay, now how are we gonna get ahead in Reapers? I'm going to deny the scout on the CC. Oh, no, not actually. Not quite. Just did see that. Well, they both see each other. And I wonder, okay, so it looks like Hack kind of wants to send his Reaper out there, which is scary because, you might end up losing that if you do that. To a defender. I think he's actually going to get in, though. Let's see. Let's wait and see.
Here he comes. Jump up.
Hop once.
He's actually going to try to delay.
Who got the first shot? I think Hack got the first shot.
Oh, and he's able to kite against that. Oh!
The SCV, man. I just want to, for the record, though, Han shot first.
Is that true? Is that right?
Yeah, just for the record, Han shot first.
All right. Okay.
Actually, out of those 2 Reapers, I'm pretty sure it was Han.
It was Han, man. Bbyong's got the Han Reaper, I guess.
So, everything is, besides the Reaper loss, pretty even for these two. That does come into, obviously, some pretty significance here. Or, I don't know how I misworded that sentence, but
we're just all over the place in the beginning of this game.
It's caused quite a bit of significance to that Marine who took a bit of damage there, is what I mean to say. But otherwise, like, he's got a Reaper, can maybe pop in and scout the follow-up, but both players are essentially going to be following up with the same thing. Get those Reapers out on the reactor, then switch into Hellion production a little bit later, get the Raven out. In fact, actually, Bbyong is going into Hellions first again here, favoring that over Marine production.
Yeah, we saw Hack kind of moving around his barracks and his factory, like kind of trying to decide whether he wanted to go for those Hellions or the Marines. He decides to go for Marines here and Widowmine at a time here out of his factory, and he's making medevac. So it looks like he wants to try to go for some kind of drop here, possibly with Widowmines and some Marine support here, whereas Bbyong just going pretty standard, making his Hellions, getting those medevacs out as well.
Yeah, what this says to me about how Hack has assessed this game is he's thinking, I think you're going to do a Banshee follow-up. So I'm going to have my Marines ready with the Widowmine too if you're rushing that out as a follow-up. and then I could also drop with that. So the medevac's going to be handy for this. However, if he's not ready at home, these Hellions can do damage. And the Hellions can be quite good defensively against Marines. When they drop out of the medevac, they get clumped up, especially when they're coming out one by one. Okay, one Hellbat, or rather, excuse me, one Widowmine, and 6 Marines in this drop versus a drop of Bbyong's coming out.
Are these drops actually going to run into each other? Not quite, it looks like. Hack taking the wider route here. Bbyong just going straight for the front, it looks like, possibly. He's got the Hellions to group up with this medevac, and there's only one bunker here. Uh-oh. Can easily run by that bunker with all these Hellions. Look at this. He's just going to run straight by. There's nothing in this base here.
And now we could actually easily burst down this depot. This is looking really bad. There is still that drop, out there for Hack. There's not much at home for his opponent either. That Widowmine! Oh, no. That can do a lot here. Siege Tank gets focused down. Widowmine does maximum damage here.
Bbyong taking so many losses on the SCVs, but again, his drop is doing so much damage. The repair on the one tank keeps it alive for long enough. He needs to
use those Hellions to target these SCVs. Targets down that Siege Tank instead, and now the SCVs are dropping like flies. GG. Had a close game there. Both players going for a drop, but Bbyong's drop with that Hellion support a lot stronger. Looks like the decision to make Hellions instead of Marines ended up being the right one here.
Yeah. Definitely looked like that. Hack so frustrated after that loss, man.
But you could see that frustration was almost like, okay, you got me, but it was in a weird game, kind of a weird series.
Yeah.
He dealt with my attacks so that I could deal with his. In both cases, the Banshees, maybe just wants to play a different matchup. And now he gets to play against Parting, in fact, in a matchup he's probably most famous for is his TVP, so he could be feeling okay about that.
He's got another chance here, and Parting going down in the game before against Dark, maybe not in the best spirits. We talk about Parting a lot. He's a guy that runs off of emotion, and if he's not in high spirits, he doesn't play at his top. He's not going to play as aggressive, maybe doubt himself a little bit here.
But guys, we get to see a real treat now, Bbyong versus Dark in the winner's match, and this is super exciting. This is my... out of all the matches we could have had today, this is the one I would have liked to see the most, and I'm glad that it's going to happen here in the winner's match to decide which one of these players to get out in the group in first place. Who do you favor here, actually?
Bbyong looks really good against Hack, but those are kind of, he got big advantages earlier on. I'd actually favor Dark here. I think I'm going to say Dark.
I want to say Dark slightly as well, but I think it could go to a game 3. All right, guys, we're going to take a look at those picks and bans in our Bbyong versus Dark match after a commercial break.